So let's have a little chat, shall we? Interesting. I recently had a major epiphany and a major breakthrough. And you know, any good spiritualist or any good occultist, they always share, or we always share our honesty. We share our pain. We share our gain with people so they can listen, not so I can get consultations. Truthfully, I don't like doing consultations, to tell you the truth. I don't. I really don't. I would rather just talk. And if people get something from this, they get it. If they don't, they don't. So here we go. This is where I want to go with this. So I had a interaction with a black guy, a nigga, and let's just say this. He was supposed to do something for me, right? Basically, we were supposed to hook up and do some things. And he didn't come through, which is okay. He didn't have to come through. That's fine. But he left me hanging. He didn't tell me, X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be. Very immature types of shit. So when I finally contacted him, he said he fell asleep. Okay, that's cool. But I was like, you couldn't text me and let me know that that happened after you woke up, you know? So he began to get irritated. Cool. But I'm still going to stand my ground because it's about having enough respect for a person to say, hey, listen, this came up. But we know black men don't have respect for other black people, period. No matter how nice you are to them, no matter how nice you treat them, no matter how understanding you are to them, they don't have. And I'm talking about the men, I'm talking about the black men here in DC. Other black men, I'm not talking to you all. I'm talking about the black men in the DMV. I'm talking to you motherfucking rotten ass fucking niggas. I'm talking to y'all. So black men from other areas, don't take this personal. And I'm only talking about the black men that I deal with in my energy. I'm not talking about black men outside of that. So don't get your underwear in a bunch and don't insert yourself. And that goes to black men and black women. Don't insert yourself in something that don't have a motherfucking thing to do with you. Okay? Just listen to the story. This ain't got nothing to do with heterosexual black people. So don't insert yourself in something that has nothing to do with you. I'm talking about a particular, type of black man. Okay? And it has nothing to do with anybody else. It has to do with me and what I'm attracting to myself. So let's be clear about that, because no, like I said, any good occultist or spiritualist or coach is going to tell you their flaws as well. I'm not without flaws. So don't hold me to no fucking high regards. Okay? I fall short like every motherfucking body else. So I just wanted to say that. This ain't about black men in totality. This is about these rotten ass black men here in the DC area, in the DMV. So I said to him, because I wanted to shake things up a little bit to see where his mind was at. Because I wanted to see, because he wanted to meet with me that morning when I contacted him, and I told him no. So I wanted to shake the tree up a little bit just to see where his head was at. Because like I told you, everything is about energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything. So I said to him, I said, if I were a white man, you would have been on the motherfucking money. You would have contacted me and you would have came through. Because, you know, again, these black men in DC, they are some of the most anti-black. They are some of the most prejudiced. They are some of the most racist towards other black people. They are some of the most intolerant people. The black men here in DC. They love white people. And when I say they love white people, it's not that they love them in a higher vibrational frequency. They love them because they think that white people are superior to them. That's why they love them. It's not because that white people are better. It's because the black men in DC think, and some of the black women too, they think that white people are superior to them. And when I say the black women, I'm talking about some of these motherfucking women in my family and in the DC community that I know. Like a Monica and a fucking Sweetie. Those are names that are associated with my personal, people that I know personally. Let me just say that. So he hits me back and says, well, let me know. Let me know when you're free. And then he says, and remember, white men, when I meet with them, they don't argue back. They don't argue. Child, I lost it. I read that fucking sissy for filth. You understand me? I read that fucking undercover sissy for filth. Number one, and I should put his picture up here so people can see it. Number one, this motherfucker was beneath my fucking standards anyway. He wasn't manly enough, but he had a big motherfucking dick. You know, and he was young. He's 28 or 29. I think he's 28. So he wanted to do some things, and I'm still young, and I said, okay, we can do some things. Okay? So he says, again, white men don't argue back. I lost it. I read that motherfucker for filth. I said, no, you're right. They don't argue back. They just shoot and kill you, or they step on your neck. You know, I thought, and this is just me, I thought that after seeing George Floyd murdered that way by that terrorist, by that white male terrorist, I thought that, and even with this COVID stuff going on, I thought that here in DC, that would somehow affect or have an impact on the psyche and the consciousness of black men here in this area. But it's not. And like I said before, that's because the soul has been sucked out of them here in DC. And that's a generational thing that's been happening. I told that motherfucker, I said, look, you don't even keep your fucking room clean. Because he sent me a picture, the dick picture he sent me, he had clothes all on his floor in his room. And I said, you're nasty and trifling, just like the ones that you try to take up for and throw up in my face. If he had said anything else, it would have been cool. But to throw up in my face, oh, white men don't argue back, as if to say that white men are better. They're better than him. Maybe they are better than him. But they sure as hell are not better. They're not better than me. They may be better than him, but they're not better than me. He thinks that they're superior. I sure as hell don't. So that got me to thinking about some things about myself. And I said, you know what, Seer? What is the underlying issue here? What is the underlying issue? Because the underlying issue was not him. It was something that happened 2 weeks ago with someone else that I know who did something to me. Who didn't come through when they say they would. And I said, you know what? I keep fucking with these motherfucking low vibrating ass motherfucking niggas. And I keep allowing my lust to control that part of me, which is opening the door for these low vibrating devils. Because see, that's the real devil. They're devils. Devils are low vibrating energies and frequencies. That's the real devil. The lowest vibration. And I didn't realize that beforehand. See, he's that boy, he's the devil. And I'm referring to him as a boy because he thinks that white people are superior to him. He threw a white man up in my face as if to say, oh yeah, white men, they don't do this and they don't do that. No, what they do, they move into the black communities with AIDS and HIV, and then they start infecting a lot of you DL men. That's what a lot of you DL black men on purpose. I had a childhood friend. He's deceased now. His name was D. Let's say his name was D. My best friend. In 2009, he went to Florida. He met some rich white man. Came back to DC from Florida. My friend is HIV positive. He dies in 2012 of full-blown AIDS. So to all you DL black men out there in the DC area who think that white men are superior to other black people, I want you to understand something. They are superior to you, but they are not superior to other black people. See, that little motherfucker, he got mad because I was calling him out on his bullshit. And see, black men in DC don't like to be called out. So getting back to this other incident, to this person that was really the underlying cause, my spirit said to me, you know what you need to do? You need to text that person and you need to send them back all of that energy. Now, this is not the boy. This is not the 28-year-old boy. Ain't him. This is another nigga. This is another nigga that I know that did something to me a while back. Let's just say he was another one that did not show when he was supposed to. He lied. My spirit said, you need to release that fucking energy and you need to reverse that energy back to him. Because the emotions that I was feeling were very heavy. They were very angry. They were very hurtful. I felt rejected. I felt depressed. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like myself. And I knew that these emotions were not coming from me. because I never feel that way. My natural state is to be peaceful, happy, and in harmonic balance. That's my natural state. So my spirit said to me, the highest part of myself, because I was in meditation when my spirit instructed me on how to do this reversal. Okay? And I better not hear this on nobody else's motherfucking channel, because I'm going to know that you stole it from me. See, I don't need no red and black candles and all that bullshit to do no goddamn reversal. I don't need that. I'm not knocking it, but I don't need that shit no more. I don't need it. I have my words, and can't nobody do what I do. So I listened to my spirit, and I sent that bastard a text. And honey, I let it all out. And I told him, I said, I have something that belongs to you. And I listed all of the emotions that I was feeling. And I told that bastard, I said, all of these belong to you. These emotions are not mine. They belong to you. And you can have them back. Child, I caused a reverberation in the universe. I opened up a gateway. I caused a major reverberation, because let me tell you what happened. I didn't know it, but that bastard didn't have that phone number anymore. He sent me a text message today. First he called me. I didn't recognize the number. So numbers that I don't recognize, I don't answer. He then sent me a text and said, is this Seer? Because I lost my phone. That was the phone number that I sent the text to, the one he alleged that he lost. I don't know if I believe that or not, but nevertheless. He said, I lost my phone and I'm trying to figure out if this is your number or not. You know what I said? You know what I sent him back? I said, wrong number. Wrong number. Here's where I'm going with this. And I know a percentage of my audience is female. So this especially applies to black women. Listen up, ladies. Listen up. And black men too. But black women in particular, because black women are always dealing with these types of tumultuous, situations on a physical, psychological, and spiritual level where your energy is not being respected and honored. And when I say respected and honored, I don't just mean from black men. I'm talking about from anyone. We're not going to vilify black men. It's not just about black men. It's across the board. Because even other black women don't, know how to treat other black women sometimes. So it's across the board. What my spirit began to say to me was, listen, you have allowed these particular men to psychologically and emotionally and spiritually abuse you for too long. When people ghost you, when people don't have enough courtesy to say, I can't make it, when people do those types of things to you, that's dehumanizing. It's abuse. It's psychological abuse. It's emotional abuse. It's disrespectful to your spirit and to your energy. And you deserve better. I deserve better. And I don't deserve to be treated like that. Now, all men don't treat me like that. But there are a few that did. There are a few that did. And I made a covenant with my spirit that I am no longer going to allow devils, low vibrating frequencies into my motherfucking life. I don't care if you're a male. I don't care if you're a female. I'm not allowing that energy in my fucking life anymore. And I made a covenant with myself the other day that I'm going to love and cherish myself more than honoring my lust and my horniness. And I made that commitment to myself. And after I did the ritual of reversing and sending him a text, telling him how I felt, releasing all that energy, I felt lighter. I felt so much different. No candles needed, no batteries, no incense, just you and your spirit. And what's so interesting, let me back up for a minute. If I didn't put emphasis on this, let me do it now. What's so interesting is this. He changed his number or got another number. So he didn't get that text allegedly physically, but he got it spiritually. That's why he sent me that text, and that's why he called me from his new number. You get what I'm saying? Even though that text did not reach him because he claimed to have lost that old phone number that I sent it to. He claimed to have lost that phone, which had another number. So even though the text did not reach him physically, it reached him spiritually. See, I was trying to hit his consciousness and his spirit because that's what I know how to do. I know how to do that. I know how to hit a person's consciousness and I know how to hit their spirit. And that is what I was reversing back to him. Those spiritual energies that did not belong to me. And then he calls me from another number. Now you tell me that I did not put something out into the universe and then it manifested. That's what I did. That's what I do. Not for other people. I do it for me, myself, and you. And I just said that because it rhymed. I do that for me, myself, and I. See, the reason I allowed these men to psychologically abuse me is because I come from a background of psychological abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse from my family, psychological terrorism, gang stalking from my family. And I've carried that energy with me for a very long time. See, this is the real self-transformation right here. Being able to admit and show your flaws to people. Because the only way you're going to be able to heal is by being honest. And see, these men, they're not going to be honest. That is why they continue to look for love. But here's the thing. How can you look for love? Or how can you expect to find love when your heart is full of hatred? When your heart is full of pain and blockages? How can you expect to find love? I'm just throwing that out. I'm just throwing that out there. But I made a covenant with myself that I am no longer going to participate in the cycle of psychological abuse, mental abuse, and emotional abuse against myself. See, everyone is always pointing the finger out at what's wrong with the rest of the world. But I'm taking my finger and I'm going like this and I'm pointing it inwards. So I can find out what the fuck is wrong with me that I would even put up with that type of motherfucking shit. Why would I even put up with that type of motherfucking shit? Oh, I know why I would put up with it, because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to psychological abuse and mental abuse and emotional abuse. And I had to peel back the layers to understand why I was walking in that in the first place. Because that's what I came from. I come from a family. Okay? I come from a family with a cycle of emotional and psychological terrorism and abuse. That's a generational thing. And I made a covenant with myself that I will no longer participate in that energy. And I will no longer hold on to energies that are not mine. So people like Sweetie, Monica, Stuffy, Tyrone, Daryl, and anyone else that I did not name, who have put their energies on me and used me as their dump truck, I send all that shit back to you. 100 times motherfucking fold. That doesn't belong to me. Your depression, your hopelessness, your anger, your bitterness. Oh, and I forgot to mention Darnell, you too. You too, Darnell. Your confusion, your chaos, your unhappiness, all of that belongs to you. It doesn't belong to me. Your insecurities, that doesn't belong to me. That belongs to you. Your fears, that doesn't belong to me. That belongs to you. And I no longer accept those devil, low vibrating energies in my life. And it actually took that boy, that 28-year-old boy, who I actually have to give him thanks. It took him being a total bitch to me for me to actually come into this epiphany that I'm having now. See, sometimes people, and I have always said this and believed this, when people think that they're doing you a disservice, they're actually doing you a service. Just like that dude that did that interview with Panic and mentioned my name. He thought that he was doing me a disservice, but he actually helped me. He actually helped me to look at myself. And that helped push me into a form of self-transformation. And that is why 5 months ago, or back in October, when I was experiencing a time where I was homeless for a little while, all of that was part of my self-transformation. Because what my spirit showed me afterwards was that, look, you put these series of events in place, talking about myself. You were fed up, and it had a cause and effect. The cause was me being fed up. The effect was me having to be homeless for about 5 months. And when you think about the number 5 is the pentacle. that connects mind, body, spirit, soul, elements, and everything. And I am at the highest point of my pentacle right now. I'm in the highest point of the five, which is self-transformation. No longer having an ego about what people think about you. So that is why I can come and be vulnerable and tell you these things. Because the only way you're going to heal is to remove the fear about what people think. Who cares what they think? Most people that think about other people or give you their opinions about what they think about other people, most of those people hide who they really are. See, you may not be able to see me on camera, but I'm telling you who I am. I'm showing you my flaws. Because when you expose your flaws, that is where you find your breakthroughs. That is where you find your healing. See, right now, what I'm doing, once again, is reversal. Reversing and removing and restoring. Reversing that bullshit, removing it and sending it back to people that it belongs to. It doesn't belong to me. Envorie in insitu envorie. Yeah, my spirit's been talking to me. Spirit's been talking to me in those higher realms. And they've given me words to use that only I can use. Envorie in insitu. Those energies don't belong to me. You can have them back, Monica, Tyrone, Daryl, Sweetie, Stuffy, Darnell, Rico, Santana. You all can have those energies back. And anyone else that I have not named, you can have them back. Those energies don't belong to me. They belong to you. I made a covenant and I made a promise to myself. I will no longer allow people to psychologically abuse me or misuse my motherfucking energy. That goes for men and women. You better come at me fucking correct, or you better not fucking come at me at all, because if you do, I will destroy you. That's where I'm at now. I will destroy you with no problem. And I won't give it a second motherfucking thought. And I don't need a candle. And I don't need to call on a spirit to do it for me. You don't have to steal my soul. He's already in me. I wanna be adored. You adore me. You don't have to steal my soul. It's already in me. It's already in me. I am adored. So I don't have to call on anybody. It's already there. And I'm talking to you bitch niggas in DC. I ain't talking to nobody who watch me on YouTube, so y'all don't get that twisted up. I'm talking to these bitch niggas in DC. To these motherfuckers who've done things to me. Who've put their energies on me. And a lot of people do that to you all too. That watch me. People put their energies on you. So this is what you do. This is what you do. You send that energy back to that person. You don't have to send them a text like I did. Just put it out into the motherfucking universe. Put it out into the universe. that you are sending them back those energies that don't belong to you, because a lot of you are walking around with other people's energies, like myself, that has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. You can write a letter and say everything you would say to that person as if they were in front of you. You write a letter, and then after you're done saying everything you got to say, you meditate over it, say whatever you want to say over the letter, and then you can either burn it or you can flush that shit down the toilet. But remember, you are reversing that energy back to them. And when you burn something or just get rid of it, you could throw it in the garbage. It doesn't matter. But when you do that, it changes up the energy. And it goes out into the universe. And that energy will find them and go back to them. You don't have to walk around with other people's energy. And like I said earlier, all of the dehumanization, the psychological, I didn't even recognize that people ghosting you and mistreating you and doing that. That's a form of mistreatment. That's a form of psychological abuse. That is a form of spiritual abuse. That's a form of dehumanization. But a lot of times we look the other way and say, oh no, something came up or whatever. If a person does not have enough respect to send you a text at least and say, I can't make it, then that means that person does not have any respect for you. And when I say that, I'm talking about the niggas that have done that to me. That means they don't have no respect for me. These particular groups that I'm talking about. That means they have no respect for my energy or my spirit. That's an attack on my spirit, my consciousness, my vibration, and my frequency. And me not dealing with that no more. I take my motherfucking energy back. And vordiamente too. I'm taking my energy back. And I'm taking my motherfucking power back. I'm not 11 years old anymore. And I don't have to put up with that type of motherfucking shit. And neither do you all. You don't have to put up with that bullshit unless you want to. Some of us are here to do different work. But I choose not to put up with that bullshit. And I won't anymore. So when that motherfucker called me, come talking about, is this you, Seer? Because I got another phone. I lost my phone. I said, wrong number. And he got some good motherfucking big dick. He got a big pretty ass dick. He got some good dick. And he's really obsessed with me. But he has psychologically abused me. And let me be clear, when I say psychological abuse, I don't mean that he's cursed me out or, spit on me or nothing like that, because that motherfucker wouldn't be alive if he did that. But when I say psychological abuse, I'm talking about, not having enough courtesy to say I can't make it, ghosting you, mistreating you, disappearing. That's psychological abuse. That's mistreatment. That's what I mean when I say mistreatment. Not, cursing me out or putting their hands on me. Again, motherfucker wouldn't be alive, or he wish he wasn't alive after I got done with him. Trust me. See, we a lot of times we ignore psychological abuse. And see, psychological abuse can be very subtle and very subtle. A lot of times we're getting programmed with psychological abuse and we don't even know it. I didn't know that ghosting was psychological abuse and dehumanization until my spirit showed me this is what you keep accepting and this will keep being the result of it. if you keep accepting this. And I had to take a motherfucking stance. See, the real revolution won't be televised. The real revolution is you standing up for your own fucking energy, saying no motherfucking more. And I say no more to you motherfuckers in DC. No more. You will not abuse my motherfucking energy anymore. And if you try to, I will destroy you. Darnell, Rico, and whomever else. I will destroy you with no problem. The powers of Bagugavat are at my left and right hand. And that is a force that you don't want to understand. And yes, that rhymed, didn't it? That is a force. Let me say it again. The power of Bagugavat stands at my left and right hand. And that is a force, you niggas in DC, that you don't want to understand. You don't have to put up with spiritual abuse, psychological abuse, dehumanization. Pay attention to the details, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention to the details. Make sure that you are not sacrificing your energy just for something that you like. And child, I like me some big black dick. I'm not gonna lie. I like me some big black dick. I do. And I'm going to continue to enjoy my motherfucking life. But it's going to be on my terms. You won't disrespect me. And you will not disrespect my motherfucking energy. You may do that to those white men. Like he said to me, white men don't argue back. Okay, that's good. You may do that to them, you bitch niggas. But you won't do it to me. And black women, don't let them do it to you either. Black men, don't let them do that to you either. But I just wanted to come through and, talk about that because, like I said, any good spiritualist or occultist, we're going to tell the truth. And we're here to learn, and we are here to be lessons for other people. So people won't make the mistakes that we did. And that is why I talk about these things. That is why I'm comfortable now revealing more shit about myself, because I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. At this point, I'm too old for that now. This is about self-transformation and being able to look at your demons in the dark, your personal demons, and use them to help transform yourself. Say no to psychological abuse and spiritual abuse. You don't deserve it, and neither do I. Make a covenant with yourself. And if there's anyone out there that you need to return energy to, whether it's your mother, whether it's your relatives, your ex-lovers, your current lovers, your sometime lovers, whatever, return that motherfucking energy to them motherfuckers. Don't let that energy just sit on you, because that's what it was doing. It was just sitting on me. And a friend of mine, he told me today, he's heterosexual. I don't know what it is, but most of my male friends are heterosexual. That's very interesting. And when I say heterosexual, they like females. Not transgender, not ladyboys, not cross-dressers or drag queens. They like females. And I kind of like that. I kind of like having heterosexual men as friends. I like that. They're cool. The ones that I know, they're cool. And most of them are not from no motherfucking DC. Only one of them lives in Baltimore. He knows who he is, But what was I going to say? Oh, he told me, I remember now. He told me, he said, Seer, you sound much lighter. You don't sound as heavy. When we talk, like we've been talking in, here recently, you sound a lot lighter. Like, I said, that's because I sent that energy back to someone. I sent it back. No candles needed. No batteries needed. And I'm being facetious when I say batteries, but you all know what I mean. I don't need no reversible candle. All I need is my spirit and my energy and my mind. And I can bind. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. And that's it. Make a covenant with yourself. Send that energy back to that motherfucking nigga or that bitch or whoever. Send it back. That's all I gotta say.